Hey, we got someone other than me.
Well, I don't think this is what you wanted.
Wow. How long can someone look at themselves in the screen, you know? Like that guy that I'm looking at the screen there, he looks confused. And yeah. So have you used Google Hangouts before? Because I have once, and I remember just being just as confused as I am right now. We got someone other than me.
Well, I don't think this is what you wanted.
Wow. How come that's... How long can someone look at themselves in the screen, you know? Like that guy that I'm looking at the screen there, he looks... That's just playing on your computer?
Sorry?
Is that just playing on your computer, or why was that so delayed?
Yeah. I had to close all the other windows I had open, trying to figure out where you were. I didn't know if you... I didn't know if you were in YouTube or G Plus. I mean, you got both going, right? You have like, what we see is we see you live on the YouTube stream, but then we can also, I can watch you play back on both Google Plus or Google Hangouts and, well, Google Plus and YouTube.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So
it's like, it's weird. Like, so the thing is that the only way I can get out like kind of live was using this thing on my channel, right? Which is great. And then there's people comments there and stuff. But then it just mysteriously stopped working yesterday. And so then I tried this thing, and I'm thinking, well, it's gonna be just simple, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just, you're gonna be able to get people talking. But yeah, I don't get it.
are you logged into YouTube so that you can like enable the live chat or not? Because you're logged into Google Plus, right? But are you actually even logged into YouTube?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm logged into YouTube in this computer, and then this computer, yeah, I just don't see where I can turn the live chat on. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't seem like this stuff is working the same way as it was before using this other device. Like some stuff is not on. Like I can't do it. You know what I mean? Like it does have like it says open. The stream has started. Yeah, and it's like the chat is not even on for me. And then here's the weird thing. The public preview. Okay, the public preview does work. It says open. All right, shut up. The stream has started. All right. Yeah, everything seems to be the same except for the live chat stuff. And if I click on open live chat in another window, and then it tells me, it sends me to just like an error page, invalid request.
Well, I've never done. I mean, if you can get a chat between two people, you should be able to open up the chat for everybody in the group. It shouldn't, like, the way Google Plus works, you can like add people to a group. You create a group and you add people. It shouldn't be that difficult when you add video to it.
Yeah.
What's the set? What are the settings for that? Because you know,
I don't know. Like, I've never really spent any time on Google Plus. In fact, I mean, I only have like, I have 146 people following me, but I never made any circles and stuff. And so, oh, look at that.
Yeah.
You were able to. Oh, you were able to add a comment in the group chat. But that's because
because we're in a group. Yeah, us two are in a group. No one else is. So if you keep adding people, the only problem is I don't know how many people you can get streaming. There should be a way where you can turn off my camera kind of thing if you're the head or something like that.
Yeah.
So that it's not me on, you know, because we're not here to see me, we're here to see you.
Well, yeah.
Is this streaming? Am I on live TV? Hello.
Yeah. There you go. You're live. Yeah, it seems like yeah, nothing's been working for me lately. Everything's waking up and it quits.
Yeah, you're having a good week. Month.
Yeah, I mean, It's crazy. I haven't been uploading video, and so I'm not very happy. And then I'm not very, you know, and I don't upload video because I'm not very happy lately. So I don't want to put people down. Catch-22 kind of thing going on there. And then I thought, well, I don't have time. I'll just do a live Q&A, right? We could always just talk about nonsense all the time. Oh, the thing doesn't work. Oh my God, you know, it's one of those.
If everybody else is seeing that, I can ask you a few questions, and then people
There you go.
Maybe.
Hey.
You know, or I can even read what if you go back to the what was that? Now I have to go back and log into other. Never mind. So your Powerwall.
Oh yeah, the Powerwall.
How's that going?
It's not going. It's I haven't had time to do it. So here's the thing. There's some time, right? There's some downtime coming up in the next few days. And so I think I have to like choose between doing that video and shooting myself building this little thing, which is no big deal. I just have to put it together, cut some wood, put the thing, you know, and do the thing. And then it's just, I mean, I already kind of have written down all the you know, the script in my head. I just gotta read it, or stand in front of the camera and just say it. I have to choose between doing that or taking care of that car. So I have that electric car, that smart car, and
yeah,
it sat there for too long, and I can't charge the batteries now because I plugged it in and it didn't work. And so I have to kind of take the battery out to try to charge those batteries. I don't want to kind of leave them there too long because then I don't know what's going to happen if it keeps draining them to the point where they're no good. And so I think I'm going to have to do that just to play it safe, and then I'm not going to kill a bunch of like modules, which are expensive. And you know, we need for that kind of project and stuff. Which is great. It's great video, right? I can do a whole video about taking it apart, and I think that whole thing is gonna be good, but not entirely the thing that I wanted to do. You know, like not in the sequence that I want to do it. It's just things have not been.
Well, that's kind of how life goes, anyway, doesn't it? Like something happens, and then you got to put that on the back burner, and then do the next thing. So in terms of the Powerwall, do you have the batteries all set up? Do you have to build the battery pack itself for the wall, or?
Oh no, that's already built. Did you see that event photo that I uploaded? I just went back there and kind of took a
no,
picture.
I didn't notice it.
Yeah, see, I wanted to add like an icon to this live event. Oh, wait a minute. Oh man, did I clicked on the thing and I don't even know now. Oh, here we go. Ah. Yeah, so I went back there, and then I kind of took a picture, but I couldn't really add it to this event. So I added it in some place that only I can see it.
You're not sharing very well, Jay. I don't know what's going on.
I'm having trouble. So here's the battery.
Oh. Yeah, there. That's the pack.
That's the pack. Yes. So it's 20 cells in parallel, and then it's 30 in series. So this is exactly set up like the Tesla modules are. Or yeah, so this would be one Tesla module. This would be another Tesla module. I do realize this is not going to work with any of the current like power inverters and stuff. But, you know, in the video, I can explain that you have a lot of different ways to wire these ones. You know, you can wire all these cells in 12 volts, or you can do it in, you know, 48 volts, or, you know, which I think that's usually what it is, right? 12 or 24 or 48. There might be some 36 volts out there. I don't know. Depending on how big you want your system, then that's how you're going to determine. But these same cells, all you have to do is rewire them a little bit different and stuff. Which is I think it's a nice video that people should, you know, they should get to see.
And when you're doing this with this Powerwall, you're definitely charging off the grid, right? Or on grid, right? You're using main power coming in the building. You're not using solar or anything like that.
Well, I wouldn't, because I don't have solar panels here where I'm at. But that is the beauty about this thing, that also that's the other way that you can use these. You know, you have the ability to just charge them off the grid, or you can charge them in some other way of doing it. And I think a lot of people, I don't know if it works the same way as here in California, but I was just looking on my bill today, and I have a 4-tier pricing scheme here in California.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Is that how it works everywhere? I don't know if that's how it works everywhere. Where are you located at?
In Indonesia, we have like a two. It's kind of like a 2-tier. You know, there's poverty level that uses below a certain, 1,500 kilowatt hour or whatever your wattage in your house is, and then there's in between that, and then there's actually, I think it's 3-tier, because then you go into sort of like commercial buildings and things like that, and the prices for low energy sort of buildings is quite low. It's like 10 cents a kilowatt.
Okay.
9-10 cents a kilowatt. It's probably even less than that, with the exchange rate. It's probably dirt cheap comparatively. But they have a huge issue with grid here because it's like, you get brownouts, blackouts, that kind of thing, rolling blackouts because of the antiquated system in the whole country. But they've just adopted where you can feed back into the system, where you can put solar on your house for about $5,000 or $6,000, and you lock yourself into that price. Basically you're paying for your energy in advance, kind of thing. By putting the solar, it'll pay itself off after 25 years or 20 years or whatever. And it work. If you have that kind of money to put in the system, it's well worth it, because the price of the price of electricity is going to go like everywhere else. It's going to go through the roof, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm originally from Canada, like in Ontario, it's insane. Like the price of hydro went from, about the same it is here in Indonesia to astronomical amounts. It's in the last, 10 years, it's nuts. And California, I'm sure, is the same way. There are cheaper places in the United States, right? Like Oregon is really cheap.
Yeah, it is my understanding that everywhere else is cheaper than here. Here's 4-tier, so off-peak, what is it, off-peak? Yeah, tier 1 off-peak is like 11 cents, right? So that's the least that I can pay for a kilowatt.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's pretty good, except that I think it's only a small amount of kilowatts.
Yeah.
After that, it goes into tier 2, which is up to like 21 cents. And then on peak starts at 12 cents, goes all the way to 34 cents. And so at home, because I have 2 electric cars, and
but when you compare that to price of gas and stuff, you're still probably saving a hell of money, right? Because it's negligible when you charge a car compared to filling your tank. The distance you get.
It's amazing the amount of savings that I gotten. I my wife was putting, like, I did the math. It was like $8,000 gasoline a year in the Honda Pilot that we had, and now it's. I mean, our Chevy Volt could tell us exactly how many gallons we purchase,
right?
Every year. I haven't looked at it, but it is $4 in electricity that she uses mostly, and then a few miles here and there that she uses on gas.
Right.
So yeah, it's huge savings. It is incredible.
So one of those. What about that smart car that you bought? What was? I don't understand that. Like, I guess I haven't been following properly. Where did that come from? What's that project all about? The little car that you just bought. Is it just a teardown? Or are you trying to rebuild it, or? No.
So legally, we can't. I can't purchase that car running, right? Legally, those cars have to be destroyed.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And so it is kind of a shame, but the thing is that they allowed our partners to sell all the components. They just can't sell running systems. And so that's the thing, there's hundreds of, so there's well, from what I hear now, there's thousands of them. So they're being
People
scrapped.
are just going to you're going to recycle them, so they'll be converted into other vehicles or power walls or that sort of thing.
Yeah, so the most valuable thing on them are obviously the Tesla batteries, right? The modules. Um, and so we want them to go on cars, obviously, but there's like this whole other system. I don't know if you saw the teardown that I did on the little motor and the controller.
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
In a little single unit, and
Right.
they're worthless because no one can use them. They have this, the code inside is, it's custom to it or whatever, and they can't really sell it together with the computer that drives it and stuff. So someone has to hack it in order to legally be able to sell it and drive it. We're gonna use that one that we bought to build a crash car. So we partner up with the guy that wants to build cars that are safer and they're cheaper to crash on Hollywood movies. And so no one is really using electric cars. I don't know why, because they can be lighter, they can be they don't have to have the big tank of, they don't have to have like a explosive liquids in them. And then here's the other thing: no one's really doing like this remote control cars that are large format like that. And we think the technology is there now to be able to do it and do it safely, and do it cheaply, because then you don't have to pay a bunch of like insurance premiums, because there's not going to be a stunt driver inside. All you have to do, I know stunt drivers are not going to like it because that's what they do, but whoever doesn't get on board, then they're going to be a part of the past, and there's going to be a whole new generation of kids that are learning to drive virtually, that are learning to use video games to drive, and that's going to be the next generation of stunt drivers. They're not going to be in the actual cabin. They're going to be virtually in the cabin of a car, maybe with the VR cameras and all of the stuff. And so that's what we're starting to do, and we're using this little car as a prototype so that we can go and sell this idea and get funded to actually do it, for real and stuff. So that's why I have it here, and that's why I'm playing with it. The other thing is that I'm exploring ways of getting this little motor. This motor it's good. It's got 90 pound-feet of torque. It's this small, and it's got the thing built in there, like the little controller. It's water cooled. It's I think it's English, I want to say. Yeah, it's made by an English company, right? Cytec, I think. This could power like our BWs here. They could power, you can take the thing off and put two of those little motors together. You can drive, all of a sudden it's, over 100 horsepower, up 100 kilowatts. Wait, well, they're 55 kilowatts, but they're throttled back to 30 kilowatts. So it'll be, the way it's running, it'd be like 60 kilowatts. But if we hack them, it'd be around 100. Which it would be a little package this big, you know what I mean? All of a sudden, it becomes like a real thing that you can put in a car and have really good performance and stuff. Especially since there's hundreds of them. There's a warehouse just full of them, you know what I mean? So someone has to figure all that out. I think, rather sooner rather than later, I think. And so that's what I want to try and do back there. Start kind of messing around with that stuff.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's frustrating. It's mostly frustration for me because I haven't had the time to do it. You know what I mean? Like, a year ago, I would have been all over it. I would have been, doing all kinds of stuff. Now it's sitting here for weeks and I haven't been able to touch it, and that's frustrating for me that I have to kind of spend time here kind of paying the bills. I'm finding that very, very hard. Like, I kind of rode like a market that was like a bubble market. And so
that's why I'm in education. There's no bubble in it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird. This is my first business and stuff. And so I didn't know anything about that, and I didn't really recognize the signs when we were on our way up. It's only now that we're on our way down that I'm like, holy crap. I was like, what's the next thing? And so I'm starting to look at what the next thing is, but I'm afraid that the next thing is not coming fast enough. I really enjoy making videos and doing all the advertising stuff and building the brands and all this other stuff, and the promotional end of stuff, but I see that it's growing, like the channel is getting more subscribers, and there's a little bit money coming in there from there, and we're signing some other deals and we're setting up other, but it's just not coming fast enough. And so right now I'm at a point where the retail side of the business, it's drying out quicker than the other stuff's going to take off. And so I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to handle the crossover thing, and it sucks because I haven't had to worry about money for a long time. And so now to have to do that, I don't like it. I don't like money. You know what I mean? Like, I don't like to think about how to make money and stuff like that. And it's frustrating. I want to go and play and, make stuff for electric cars or for cameras or whatever. But yeah, so it's a weird place where I'm at, and it's frustrating for me. And to have all the stuff there sitting for weeks and not be able to go and touch it because I'm too busy over here worrying, it's crazy. It's like, definitely.
So what other ways do you think you can monetize what you're doing in terms of producing videos that you haven't really expressed to other people before? You got your EV type stuff, you got your batteries, you got all the, the Powerwall idea and those sort of things. But how do you're going to have to find a stopgap. You're going to have to find something to keep you going.
Yeah.
So that we get to see more videos, because that's all we care. We don't care about your financial trouble.
Yeah. No, that's true. No, and to tell you the truth, it's all interesting. Like, I have to think about, like, okay, am I really putting too much out there? But I realize that usually, like, people, there's a difference, right? Like, there's TV, and usually you watch that, and that's like very polished content that goes up there.
Right. Yeah.
I think like the daily vlogging, the stuff that I'm trying, and I see a lot of people succeeding and stuff, and the new trends that I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that people like is the reality of it. You know what I mean? And it's usually a struggle. If you don't want to see someone that's just on top of life, happy all the time. You know what I mean? Like, that is not interesting.
Well, that's not real.
Right? I mean, it's only interesting and fun for a while, but after a while, you're like, okay, whatever. Like, I'm struggling over here. Why should I watch this guy, just living it up? And I always thought, like, a big part of the brand that I developed with the Jak 35 was the fact that I'm a carpenter, and the fact that I'm an outsider to this market, and I just kind of stumbled across it. It's like, I just figure out how to do this one thing. There was a huge void in the market. Then I filled it. And then, it became a huge thing and whatever. People seem to connect with that and root for the guy that really, I didn't go to business school. I didn't get funded by some, so I think that's part of the whole thing. You know what I mean? Like, that is part, like, being honest and being just genuine, I think has a lot of value, and I think a lot of people can do it. It's a weird thing because I'm like, do I really need to tell people that I'm struggling here and that I'm feeling vulnerable and all this stuff? It's one of those things that sometimes doesn't feel comfortable. But I think, and at the end, I think it's going to be part of the equation at how people are going to connect with me, and they're going to feel, they're going to root for me, and then hopefully, see me succeed at whatever the next venture is going to be. And
how much do you think the quality of your videos is important to the viewership? Like when we watch you, I mean, yeah, there's the social aspect of watching someone struggle and all those sort of things, but the quality of video that you produce, like the editing time that you're putting in, the thought process and time lapse, or all your techniques in that, how much of that do you think drives what you do, like in terms of success? Not you yourself, but how do you think it impacts the viewers, like the level of quality that you put in?
I think it plays a part, but I don't think it's a huge part. Here's the thing, like, I got stuck in the gear and the technical side of shooting images and videos and stuff. And I could never really build a you know, like an audience. I mean, you know, people like me. I was in the industry. I'm like, you know, but it was mostly like they're gearheads. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
there's a whole group of people that is like we all like toys. But I kind of shifted. Now it's like I want to be able to figure out how to tell a compelling story. It doesn't matter if the shot is crooked, if it's grainy, if it's shaky. You know, it's like here's the biggest irony. I build, you know, camera stabilizing systems for a living. My video is like super shaky. If you look at all these vlogs that I've been putting, like I don't use a single one of my products to stabilize my camera because it'll hinder me. You know, like I don't want to think about that thing. It does add an element. It'll it's like the extra step, right? It polishes your product or whatever. But I think anyone will forgive shaky video, dark, grainy images, even bad composition if the story is compelling. But no one will forgive a bad story, a bad thing. You know, it doesn't matter how beautiful the image looks and how well composition your shots have and stuff. You know, I think that's what I found out. Like I've been striking out for years because I was always taking, and I was actually looking at that today. I was looking through my phone and I was looking at the pictures that I used to take 3-4 years ago.
Right.
Every picture was highly sculpted and edited, and you know it had a bunch of like effects, and you know I was trying to go for like the most beautiful images that I could shoot. That has stopped now. Like in the last year, all my pictures are just terrible. You know, they're just, I'm like, I just take a picture. Like, it's just because I'm really interested in a different aspect, I think, of the whole of content. You know what I mean? Like the technical side and that stuff. I think that I know I can do, and I think when the time comes that I'm in a better place and I can spend more time in these videos, you know. Then I can get back into it. But right now it's like I got an hour a day that I can spend in this thing. I'm gonna spend it in the part that I'm weakest. You know what I mean? And I feel the storytelling part is the thing that I haven't developed. So that's where I want to work. And all the other stuff is gonna suffer, I think. But the fact that the channel is kind of growing more than I ever did with when I was taking beautiful images and beautiful videos, that kind of proves to me that the story is, I think, king when it comes to delivering content.
Do you have any inspiration besides other YouTubers out there to give you the idea of like what a good story would be, or are you just going through this as an experimental phase, or are you learning from other people, say movies or what have you?
Yeah, well, so originally, yeah, I mean the movie, the theatrical release, the 2-hour movie was the Holy Grail, right? I mean, that's when I grew up, when I was, when I was a teenager. That's what I wanted to make. I didn't really know why. I just knew that I wanted to do that. And, my very first purchase after I started working was a video camera. And it was for that aim, and I idolized people, like Swingers was one of the big movies that I like. Robert Rodriguez was another big guy because he was like us. He would just do it. Like, who cares? You don't have a tripod? Who cares? Grab 2 sticks and tape them together. Just do it. He was doing the scores on his, he was a one-man band. He was a one-man studio. He was doing everything. Huge. We used to idolize those guys, So I think with time that's changing. Like I used to think, now I think it's a little naive to kind of dream on stuff that it's far. At that time, that stuff was far. You needed $100,000 just to process film.
Right.
Didn't even get you anything. So it was. I think sometimes people say like, don't reach for the stars too much because then you get disappointed and then you kind of kill your own dreams. And I think there's a little bit of truth to that, So now I'm trying to do the baby steps. I noticed that kind of works for me. Like, I tend to learn better, like pacing myself. And so I think like being a movie maker, a filmmaker, or a YouTuber or whatever, Well, it's a thing that now I feel it's it feels the thing, my aspiration, whatever I want to do, you know. And also, a YouTuber, it's changing now. You know, it used to be a thing that was like, oh, that's what kids do. That's just,
Right.
you know. But now it's becoming the biggest platform in the world. I mean, there's no other platform where you have access to a billion people. You
Well,
could.
yeah. Yeah.
There's no network in the planet that can match it. You know what I mean? And so
it's being used in so many different ways. It's not just telling a story. It's educating. It's shocking people. It's giving you your news. It's integrating pretty much every media there is into one place, which is weird. It's and social, you know, because you have this interaction with your audience. Whereas where TV and radio and, you know, film, it doesn't really have that. You can't interact with Star Wars the same way you can interact with Dave.
Yeah, that is the thing that is missing. And it was highly polished too. It's like this group of people got together and fought and argue, and then they deliver this thing that it's no one's vision. It's everyone's vision, but who's everyone? You know, it's like,
that's right.
There's a thing missing there. You know what I mean? Like there's a thing that's been missing for a long time, and yeah, it's like a singular vision, a single person that has a weird way of telling things, and you know that's the thing that's been missing. It's other things that you get with YouTube. But the other thing is that all the talent and all the money in the world now is starting to come into YouTube. They're starting to realize this is a real platform. This is a real deal. You know what I mean? And so it's shifting what a YouTuber used to be. A YouTuber used to be like, ah, you're just a thing. Now it's like, oh, you're a YouTuber. Like these guys are, you know, they're storytellers. They're movie makers. You know what I mean? Like there's gonna be movies being made and only released on YouTube pretty soon. You know what I mean? Like now there's a way to monetize it. So now with the money comes the talent, comes comes everything else. So that's what I'm trying to do, you know. I don't know. It's I have faith in it. I'm excited about it. Just as excited as I'm about electric cars, and I'm like, why not do both? You know what I mean? Like I'll shoot myself telling stories about trying to figure out how to make an electric car and how to explain things about electric cars. I think there's a lot of simple stuff that there's no videos, and a lot of people, like I see like the questions that people ask, and they're very, very basic, you know, and I'm like, well, this is like super easy. Like, why haven't I made a video? Oh, because I haven't had the time to do the videos. But every day there's like, you know, there's another video that I can make just to explain the one thing that I'm getting a bunch of questions on all the videos.
Well, I think it's very interesting that you've taken sort of like a different tact. Like, you know, okay, you did the Samba project, and that was very interesting. But then you're kind of like looking at how can I give something more, like you say, a story. You know, when you take a look at your like older video, like you show family and things like that, it's really interesting that, you know, even though it's a bit more polished and that sort of thing, there is story there. You know, everything that you've done, there is a story. The way you lay things out, even if it's highly polished, well organized, well thought out, scripted, compared to what you do now, where you're just sort of experimenting and, you know, with the vlog and stuff, the storytelling is still there. I think a lot of people are, you know, attracted to that, you know, like that it's off the cuff. It's not as scripted, but the story, that the way you tell a story is still there, you know. Yeah. Like you have a gift for that, you know. Not many people can do that, right? Like whether it's polished or not, you know. Like I think good storytellers, doesn't matter the medium, you know, whether you're a writer, a dancer, a musician, or teacher, or whatever, you know, they're very hard to find. Anyway, Jay, I gotta go. You gotta go too, right? I gotta go bake some pies.
You got what?
I gotta bake some pies.
Oh, bake some pies. What time is it in Indonesia right now? Is you saying
12:30 p.m. noon.
Oh, noon. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I'll be here at
Day
9:30.
before Christmas. It's Christmas Eve here, so I got to go bake some pies.
Oh
for Christmas
yeah,
dinner.
yeah. You got to go spend some time with the family. All right. Well, thank you for hanging with me. Hopefully next
Awesome.
time I gotta figure something out here because this stuff is not working out. I mean, this is great.
Get your brother to fix it.
I know. Yeah, he had to leave early today, so I'm here by myself, and it's just a mess for myself.
Well, have a good Christmas and a happy New Year.
All right, you too, sir. Thank you for
All
hanging out with us, and
Yeah, no problem.
have a good holidays. All right.
Will do.
All right. Okay. Goodbye.